here. So we're going to look to your right, first of all, and we're going to have a couple of props that we have inside stage. Now, something to mention about the staging of this, it's very meticulous, it's very organized. The team here have figured out just what set pieces need to be on which side of stage, depending on how they come onto stage. So anything that comes on from prompt side stays on prompt side and moves onto prompt side, and the same with off prompt or stage right as well. So we have a couple of the blankets which we use when for the citizens of Arendelle when the ice is frozen over. Spoiler alert. We have Kristoff's lute and pickaxe. We have a couple of toys that little Anna and Elsa play with. A couple of Kristoff's bags. We have even costumes which Anna dresses into within seconds, sort of on stage for a quick change. A couple of the hygge leaves, which you'll see tonight is just a hilarious number. Which sort of takes us to actually Oaken's hut, which this is only half of it, the other half is on the other side of the stage. So Oaken, yoo-hoo! This is his hut. This is amazing. A couple of snowflake effects for when we're in Winter Wonderland. And you'll have seen this set piece come on for first time in forever, so one of our suits of armor, we have the bust, and behind them we actually have a couple of Elsa's ice strikes. So they illuminate on stage and they track on stage as well to sort of create that magic and her bringing on those spikes.
Will we have the marshmallow one? The monster, the big monster eye?
No, there is no marshmallow. There's no marshmallow.
Okay.
I'm sure it would be too big. It'd be like the King Kong of Frozen. And here we have the library fire pit, which I get to play around with sort of in Act 2 as well. When he turns. And we also have Anna's childhood bed here, which is really magnificent. And we have a couple of lights here, which from far away you can't really see. Once these lights are off, you can't really see them, but it creates this illusion that Elsa's playing around with her magic, and it's like, it's sort of wrapping around this bed and creating that sort of frosty effect as well. And if you'll notice, if you look above, and a couple of people already have, notice what that is? That's the platform that was in Let It Go, which have now strung up. So if we were to have all of these set pieces down on the level, we wouldn't actually be able to be moving around. It'd be a cramped space, which is why they hang a lot of the set and a lot of this stuff up there, so that it's out of way and ready to use when we need it, really.
How fast will it take to bring one set?
It actually takes a little bit of time, but they've timed it so well. Like there's a particular point where it needs to start coming down, and everyone's cleared and everyone's safe and out of the way. All right, lucky you guys, we get to go on stage. So remember how I was saying with Elsa's ice dress, the Swarovski crystals. So we don't touch, please.
All right.
No, it's only because once they fly it out, we don't want it moving. So the crystals, all of these are Swarovski crystals as well. Otherwise, they wouldn't gleam as well as they would. So you would have seen this from far away with Let It Go, but now you get to see it up close and full of the lighting, and it is stunning. It's amazing. And also you notice too, I'm getting better at this tour as well. As I'm going, I'm learning. So you'll notice that the back screen, all of these wings, which are sort of blue frosted at the moment, there's about 75 million individual pixels on this stage.
Wow.
And that creates, set pieces. It creates Arendelle freezing over. It creates it thawing. It creates, this warmth and light, and then it frosting over. It's amazing. Disney magic. And you'll notice here on the stage as well, we've got these lines on the stage, these tracks. So this is what helps us bring set pieces on. So things like those suits of armor all slide in on those tracks and then slide out. And that's via automation, which you might have seen in the back at the back of this screen here, but I'll show you it once we get around to the other side of the stage as well. You'll be able to notice where it all is.
What's again the resolution of the projection?
That is not my department. I'm unsure.
But how huge is it? Is it the whole
Yeah, it's
back projection?
It's very much the whole thing. Like all of that is a screen. We don't really touch it because it's warm. But yes, it's all pixelated. You'll also notice as well, like because you're at the back of all of these wings, these sort of frosted elements come out as well. They slide out and create the winter wonderland as well.
Beautiful.
And we come over to this side of stage whenever you're ready. We've got a couple of more specific set pieces for this side of stage. So first of all, we have Elsa's childhood bed with her little doll as well. And again, these sparkly elements to sort of, suggest that, she's using her powers, and it sort of wraps all around her bed there. We have the little portrait, which you would have seen come on for first time in forever. These torchiers, these guys are one of my favorites actually. Though we don't use open flames, these candles illuminate on stage and flicker as well. Like from far away, it looks like real flame. It's actually really impressive. It's fantastic set designing. Another one of our suits of armor, and you'll see the second half of Oaken's little store there, and it's a little bit open, but you can't really see anything. There's lots of knickknacks and stuff in there, which is really cool. Now, this one's cool. So, spoiler alert, Elsa freezes over Arendelle, and we have the ice bridge, which tracks onto stage as well.
Yeah.
So this is the bridge that it's the scene where we really meet Kristoff and Sven for the first time, and we get to hear reindeers are better than people. And so this set piece tracks on. It's 3 individual pieces which track on to then make one as it enters on stage. And like I was saying with the tracks, so there's 9 tracks overall. There's 4 on each side, and then there's one central one through the middle. That central one was used for the platform, for Let It Go, for it to move. And then for these other ones like this, you'll notice this curved track. It begins from about there and it curves onto stage. That's how this is hooked onto the system. So it connects as a 3 and then it tracks on to create the bridge as it comes on stage. Very, very cool.
Yes.
I wish I could climb it, but I'm not that character. And so here we have Sven!
What is Sven?
So, like you would have seen, Sven comes to life so miraculously. It's actually quite impressive. We actually have 2 actors who play Sven throughout a week. So they do one off, one on. Otherwise, they would be exhausted. Because they're essentially on all fours the entire time. They're in a plank, essentially, for a lot of the show. So this is just incredible. I love this puppet. I only get to interact with it once as Hans. And have to pretend to be scared of it, and then it goes, and I'm like, no. Right, so you know how I was saying about automation. So underneath our feet right now is a very complex system which creates that tracking system. That's all operated from behind here. So the automation team, there's always 2 for every show. They're always there to queue. And I should also say as well, all of the sets that you've seen, and probably even more the ones that are hanging above us as well, it takes about 5 days to bump in this show with a team of 60 plus people. So it's a lot. And you heard the weight of them. I think it's like 75 tons worth of set pieces. It's like 50 for sets and then 25 for all the rest. But it's then manually shifted and moved for the show by 5 people, like manually. And we also have a lot of the flies that bring in the sets from above on the fly system with, I think, 5 people who sort of live in the raftings to sort of help us with that. So yes, automation. I'm wondering if there's anything else. Oh, the dry ice effect. So as Arendelle's freezing over, we use about 350 litres of CO2 every week to create that dry ice effect. So we have that in numbers like Monster. We have it when Arendelle freezes over. We have it as the storm's erupting. You know how we mentioned that the ensemble become the storm towards the end of the show? It's quite impressive with all the white costumes as well. And they're heavy costumes. Great. This is the last little bit. We've got another little props table here to have a look at. Now we have Queen Elsa's orb and scepter. Oh yes, watch your step. I should mention that. Watch your step, there's a ramp, and just watch out for the tape. So we have Elsa's orb and scepter, which she uses during the coronation. And we also have Anna's, it's really Queen Aduna's blanket, so her mother's blanket, which she ends up having in Act 2 as well. And we have a little sort of makeshift Olaf, which the little ones put together at the beginning of the show. And I actually don't even know how it works, but it comes to life. It moves and it's wild.